Why? I don't understand why you would be nervous. It doesn't make any sense.
So take me through like the flow. Like, what are we gonna do exactly?
I already started recording.
Oh shit.
Welcome to Whatcha Playin, a show from two fellow. Sorry, I already fucked it up. A show from two field YouTuber best friends who have never met in real life, and this will hopefully be a once a week podcast. And we're very bored here in quarantine, and we wanted to make something for YouTube again.
It's awful.
Yeah, my name is Nick. You can find my stuff at he'sbaggames.com, where for the foreseeable future this will be living. And this is Dara. You can find him at Ink Eyes on YouTube.
Yes. Hi.
Or I should say, he'sbag.com exists, but I don't really use it. He'sbag on YouTube is where you would find this.
Yeah, that's where you're like trying to do blogs, right?
Yeah, I guess
little
so.
articles for games and stuff.
Yeah, and
Sorry about my squeaky chair, by the way.
That's okay. I didn't do anything with that site. I made like one article and never really did anything else with it.
Like way back when, right?
Yeah, I did it on Apex Legends, like the week Apex Legends came on.
Yeah.
Right before I got on this call with you, I was playing Apex Legends, so I'm still going with it.
Do you like it as much as you used to, or
I like it. I like
it just because you know how to play it.
You know what? Let's talk about that later. And what you play in this, because I'm thinking the first half of this podcast is talk about a couple news items that are like interesting shit that's coming up.
Okay.
And the second part, I swore a minute and 29 in, so we're good. And the second part will be what we're playing. Try to convince each other to play what we're playing, you know?
Yeah.
So you said that you wanted to talk about Monster Train.
Yes.
Do you want to like try to explain Monster Train, and I'll queue up like a little video of it,
A little trailer of it, gameplay footage.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it.
So, Monster Train is a brand new roguelike, which I don't believe is out yet. I think it's still in early access, and if I think so. And it's a roguelite, I should say, because you don't really go through like a dungeon per se, but it's similar to the map that you have on Slay Spire, and
except it like descends instead of ascends, though, right?
Exactly, you go downwards, and you don't see the whole map. It's just like section to section. So you go from boss to boss, and it's supposed to be like the circles of hell that you go through. And there are a few factions that you start with a couple. And you can unlock more of them, but it kind of combines elements of Slay Spire and just roguelike elements, card play. You can select units, you get upgrades, you can go to a shop. When you choose your path as you go down a map, you can go to different nodes. You usually have like a couple of paths you can go down, so you can kind of evaluate what sort of options you're going to get along the way.
Yeah, it's like one of the main hooks that I've seen is that it's not just like I'm playing spells from my hand, but you also play these persistent cards that are monsters, like you would in like Magic or Hearthstone.
Exactly.
Like
so you're not like one character, but you kind of build a deck with spells, and you could call them creatures or monsters.
Yeah.
And it's actually really cool because the levels aren't flat, like you're just not playing one game. It's kind of like you can see in the video, it's layers, and it's kind of tower defense-y.
Yeah.
So there are enemies that if they defeat your say like if you have units on the main floor, if they defeat them, or if they have abilities like haste, they have a chance to actually go up to the next floor. And at the very top of the fourth floor, there's your pyre, and your pyre is basically like your player hit points, and the pyre itself can attack back any units that make it up there, and you can't play any creatures on the top floor where the pyre is, but you basically prepare all the levels below that.
So what's cool about the pyre is you can actually try to focus on building out your pyre to like be a powerhouse.
Yeah, there are pyre-specific abilities, and you can actually heal up the pyre, so if it takes damage, it's at the end of the world. But yeah, there's just... Another cool thing that I appreciate about it is that there's character animation, so they're not just completely static. All the cards, they're animated by a few frames, so you can see like fireballs like kind of falling and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of neat. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but
it looks like I just looked it up. It says May 21st.
Oh, just a few days then.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, that's definitely something like I used to play all the roguelikes, and I've been kind of falling off on them because I feel like when I get one, if I like it, it's like all I play for a whole year, and I don't like go on to anything. Like I've got so many hours in Enter the Gungeon and Binding of Isaac and Slay the Spire. Like,
see, I never touched Binding of Isaac because I remember the way back when it was just like a Flash game.
I started with the Flash game. Yeah,
it just didn't look good back then. There's just so many better games to play back then, in my opinion.
I just love Edmund McMillan stuff. Like I got really into. I haven't played all of his stuff, but I got like really
Super Meat Boy.
Super Meat Boy. I played a lot of Super Meat Boy as you know.
That was one of the first like really difficult platformers, like those impossible platformers.
I think it came out after like I Want to Be the Guy, but it was like the accessible version of I Want to Be the Guy. I feel like.
When did N++ come out?
I have no idea.
Do you know that game?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Here, let me.
Yeah.
Super Meat Boy, I think, came out with like the Xbox Summer of Arcade, so that would have been like 2010 or something like that.
Jesus, yeah.
N++.
At least.
Date. Let's see here. July 28th, 2015 is when N++ came out.
Okay.
Super Meat Boy.
See, back in the day, I didn't have the patience for.
Yeah, I was right. October 20th, 2010, Super Meat Boy.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't have the patience. Like, I saw so many of my friends play that. I saw it on like videos and stuff, but like I knew that it would drive me crazy. But I never tried it. I knew that I could play them, but I just never got into like that sort of game.
What about like
until recently?
What about like Celeste? Did you do Celeste?
Yeah, until recently, like Tower Climb was one of the first like really difficult platforms that I got into.
I hate that game.
I love Tower Climb. Tower Climb is you don't even know, man. It's one of the best games ever made.
See, to me, that one I don't understand why you like that one so much because that to me is
By
like
the way, hold on. Tower Climb is one word. If you were gonna guys download it or like look it up, it's Tower Climb altogether. So it's gonna be really difficult to go on YouTube and type Tower Climb and get that footage.
I think the thing I hate the most about Tower Climb is that it is
first of all, the trailer sucks.
I'm sure it does. It's like a one and done game though, you know, like with
No, actually they're working on Chapter 3. It's been going on for
No. I mean like in Super Meat Boy, you die and then you respawn immediately. Tower Climb is like you die, you die. It's like they made the super hard platformer and mixed it with roguelite, and that makes me want to kill myself. It's just like way too much. It's so sweaty.
I was about to say that it's kind of not exactly like Super Meat Boy and games like that because, like you said, it's not like you get like one screen and you have to make through or make your way through that screen, and if you die, you just like reset right away. This is an actual. You have to get from the beginning to the end, to climb the entire tower, and it's in. How many levels is it? Jesus.
I think I got to like the third. And I was like, I'm never.
Or the third level.
I probably biome. I don't know which one's smaller. Which one is, like, what's less impressive, a level or a biome? Because that's whatever is less impressive is what I did.
The less impressive is just the levels because every biome is 3 levels.
So yeah, no, I never made it out of.
So you go through like you saw like the lava biome, you go through like a jungle biome and like a rocky biome. Like here, it's amazing. There's even a dance club in it that you eventually reach.
Dance club?
Yeah, there's a club in it, and there's like giants dancing in it. It's one of the most difficult.
It turns into Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Basically, oh man, dude, the music for the club, I used to listen to it like in the car.
How did we get onto this? We were just talking about roguelikes. Is that it?
We were talking about roguelikes and platformers somehow.
Yeah, I guess
what were we talking about?
The other well, we started off with Monster Train.
Yes.
And Monster Train does look super cool. The roguelike that I've been playing, I guess I'm kind of done with it now, even though it's amazing, is One Step from Eden.
Let me guess. I was about to say.
Yeah, One Step from Eden. So I beat it a few times on the what do you call it? The not kill everybody run with the friendship
neutral.
Yeah, no, like the friendship run, not neutral.
Saving everyone.
Yeah, saving everyone. Yeah, I've beat it a few times on saving everyone.
What it was.
Yeah, I know it's the pussiest move because that's how you get all your. So in this game, you can all the bosses are also player characters, and you can choose to save all of them, and when you save them, they heal you, or you can kill them, which gives you a permanent stat benefit of some type. or you could do a mix of it depending on like how things are going at the time.
I don't think killing them gives you a stat benefit.
Yeah, it does. It gives you a relic. You don't get relics.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. If you keep them alive, you don't get anything from them.
And one of the cool things is that
except for the heal,
the relics that you get are boss specific.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like their abilities. So
it's like Mega Man then. This game is based on Mega Man. It's based on Mega Man Battle Network. Right?
Battle Network, yeah.
Which I never played back in the day, but I remember people were obsessed with it on like GBA.
Yeah. I didn't play it either, but I remember this game. I played it for Jesus Christ. I don't know, like maybe 250 hours combined.
I got like 30.
Yeah, I got really obsessed with it because I was trying like all the characters. I have all of them unlocked. I have multiple skins and play styles because they have different play styles too. Once you beat the game, on neutral with them, you unlock this other way that you can play them. For example, like the default or starter character Saffron.
Yeah.
You just have
Chronos.
The Chronos Saffron, like versus the original one. The original one's all about like auto attacking.
Yeah.
So you can just hold down the right trigger.
She's about auto attacking and just like yeeting out as many high damage spells as possible.
Right? Yeah, which can be really cool too with the auto attack. But the only problem is, in order to make that work all the way to the end with like an auto attack build, you have to get so lucky. Like there are so many artifacts that you can get that actually increase your like attack power.
Like the micro missiles one and the one, and just the ones that just kick up your auto attack power.
Just the one that straight up say attack damage off. But it's so luck based, and there's no real way, because you can, as you know, just saying for the audience, you can select your focus. Or two focuses.
This is cool.
The spells that you get.
So the focus thing I've never seen before. So like imagine you're playing multiple, I don't know, enemies in like a Magic the Gathering tournament, and you're like, and you start off with a super small deck, and you're like, I would like this deck to be blue mana and green mana, but I can't just like ask for those cards.
Even more specific. Let's say, like, I just want most of my cards to be elves.
Yeah, exactly. Mechanics. You can choose specific mechanics to like hope to. So you can say, I want elves and I want, I don't know, pyroblast, so like direct damage. And in this game, when you choose those focuses, it gives you a chance to get that stuff, but it also lowers your chance of getting more rare, super powerful spells if you just went with nothing. I don't know if you know about that mechanic.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I did know that based on your luck, you also.
Oh yeah. I love when you killing bunnies gives you extra luck.
It's just rabbit foot.
So
it
stupid.
took me so long. There was nothing online when I started playing it that actually said what killing the bunny did.
Yeah. It's one luck. Yeah.
One luck, but eventually, like you check your stats and you'd be surprised. You see like you have a plus 18 magic damage and like it's 37 luck. And you're like, when did they even end up with that much luck? Like it's impossible.
I feel like
luck also it's also cool because the game doesn't just give you better cards for nothing, because you know there's so many ways to increase your luck. You're also punished for having high luck. So the higher your luck is, the more difficult the game is. So you run into like elite units.
You get great shit, but they get great shit.
Exactly. So it's balanced out like that. And another cool thing that I took me a while to understand what exactly meant was the red paths that you could take. With the
I don't know what that is. What are the red paths? I've never looked into it.
It's basically like a blood moon, so the whole background turns black and red with like the moon in the sky, and that's basically, I think it's 2 or 3 biomes higher than you would normally go through at that stage. They're all elites. You get upgraded cards, you get better relics, you get better cards in general, like higher rarity.
So it's like every single
and more experience, money, all of that. So it's just way more difficult.
So you know, like the elite squares that look like the dragon's head.
Right.
So every single one of them is like that equivalent of difficulty.
Yeah, or higher. You can easily die.
I feel like whenever we do this show, there's going to be like at least 15 minutes on roguelites.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my favorite genres right now.
It was, I mean, it still is one of my favorites, but Anyway,
my favorite games right now are games that are either straight up roguelikes or just like a mixture of roguelike infused genres. You know, platformer with roguelike elements, card game with roguelike elements.
All right, we just did 15 minutes on roguelikes, so I'm gonna go.
Hey, I'll go on.
I know you will, so I'm gonna go on to the next thing. I've already asked you, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Have you seen the Unreal 5 tech demo?
I have not. Let's check it out.
Okay. I'm actually going to put the audio on for this one. We'll click around a little bit because it is wordy. Okay. But it's something. And we're not going to...
You mentioned Celeste, and I was going to talk about that for a little bit because I was going to say there are... Every once in a while, the game comes out as like basically life-changing, and I think Celeste was definitely one of those titles.
It's like, the best platformer that's come out in a decade.
It's amazing. I love it. Like the sense of satisfaction you get, and you really feel like you get better at it. It's so skill based, and I never did any speedruns of it. I have a whole playthrough of it on YouTube, and I tried to do like B-sides and get like unlocks and stuff like that. But it's just so good.
I know.
So well designed.
Not
roguelike, but
I'll mention one thing from it that I love, and that's Coyote Time. Do you know about that?
No.
The designers put in this mechanic called Coyote Time. You know, like in Roadrunner and Coyote. Coyote runs off of a ledge, and he has a little bit of time where he's just like kicking his legs in the air. Yeah, so they built a mechanic into the game that if you are off the ledge for like a few or maybe a little bit more pixels, your jumps still register as a jump because they think it feels bad for it to be 100% precise. They call that Coyote Time. Yeah.
I had no idea. That's actually cool. You can actually abuse that.
Yeah, that's how all the speedrunners abuse it. But let's watch some of this video.
Okay.
Oh, do I have it on full quality here? Yes.
Before we continue, let's stop a moment and take a look at some of the key features of this demo. Much of what you see was built with Quixel Megascan assets, but instead of using the game versions,
extraordinary.
We used the cinematic versions.
That's just crazy.
That only be used in film. There are around 1 million triangles each, and thanks to virtual texturing, they all use 8K textures.
I want to show you real quick. They'll get to it, but I'll skip ahead once they show how they can bounce the lighting.
Triangles of source geometry in each
this is probably the most realistic looking game I've ever seen.
Losslessly to around 20 million drawn triangles.
Come on, you never played Night Trap?
Triangles look like?
No.
This isn't noise.
Look at this thing.
These are the triangles.
I don't know if you heard him. He said like, you know, this whole thing is built out of, you know, trigonometry.
Yeah, 20 million triangles.
So this is a visual representation of the triangles. It's not like digital noise. Every single one of these colors is a triangle.
Is density of triangles or just triangles?
Yeah.
Different color. Most are so small that they look like noise. Nanite achieves detail down to the pixel, which means triangles are often the size of pixels. This amount of geometric detail requires shadows to be pixel accurate as well, and Nanite can
I mean, what kind of computer do you need to run this, though?
This is running on a PS5.
No way!
Yeah! I don't know if you heard, I don't know what the tech is called, but PS5 has developed some space-age SSD.
Okay.
That's proprietary to PlayStation 5 right now, and I guess it's going to allow for some serious shit. Apparently.
So it's such a unique technology that you can't even find it and get it for PC and things like that?
It's proprietary. They made it. They're not giving it out yet.
Good job.
It's in PS5 exclusively.
Global illumination. No light maps, no baking here. Without GI, all of that beautiful lighting is gone. With Lumen enabled, we can move the light and the bounce.
This is nuts to me.
Okay, let's keep going.
They show some more cool stuff here, but nothing that I find like groundbreaking. There's a lot of developer specific talk, I would say. Let's get over to
what is this like? It reminds me of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's totally a Tomb Raider ripoff with like magic in it.
Like Prince of Persia / Tomb Raider.
Yes, that's what a lot of people have been calling it, like Princess of Persia. So this I found cool that they can use. They'll say it.
Not just for speeding up iteration, but also for its impact on gameplay. Any light source can move while still having beautiful bounce lighting. Dynamic illumination means specular as well, which you can see on all the metal surfaces. You can even see the Niagara-powered bugs reacting to the light.
I mean, I would be running.
So Niagara,
I saw that many cockroaches.
Niagara, I guess, is their particle effects system, and it can be like integrated with all the other systems and stuff. So they're like integrating Lumen with that right now for this effect.
Lumen not only reacts to moving light sources, but also changes in geometry.
It'd be cool if they added sound effects for the bugs she's squishing. Little crunches.
Remember we mentioned high poly assets?
This is nuts.
This statue was imported directly from ZBrush and is more than 33 million triangles. No baking of maps, no authored LODs.
So they don't do any LOD. Do you know what LOD is?
No.
I think loss of... yes, that's it. Loss of detail or something like that. It's basically, when you're playing a game.
When you're further away.
Yeah. Or
bring down the resolution.
Maybe it's not loss, but that is exactly what it is. What you're saying. It's like the further away you are, it's like, oh, there's a shitty version of the asset and then a little bit better version of the asset and then the actual asset when you get close enough.
So that the game would run smoothly.
So
usually
this engine, from what they're saying, who knows if it's true, that doesn't exist anymore. It's just the actual asset at all times is drawn.
Jesus.
And the crazy thing that they do in a moment is they take the statue and put it in a room 500 times.
And it still runs.
Yeah. I mean,
500.
It's a tech demo. Like, who knows?
Of that exact statue at the same detail.
I mean, this looks like gameplay footage.
It looks like next gen. It really does look like. I didn't think there was going to be much of a difference, Everyone's saying that this generation, next gen, is all about like load times and SSDs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, console load times can definitely improve.
Yeah. Well, everyone's still running HDDs.
Yeah, that's true. What is this, Terracotta Warriors?
Yeah, that's what they look like, right? Except they have like a different cultural look to them. They don't look, Chinese to me.
So with Nanite, you have limitless geometry, and with Lumen, you have fully dynamic lighting and global illumination.
Look at this.
All running on a PlayStation 5.
How? Supposedly this is playable.
It looks amazing.
Like, when PS5 comes out, it would be nice if they, like, included this demo just as, like, a true proof of concept.
Yeah. Not like No Man's Sky yet.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not much time.
This is straight up gameplay footage right here.
That's what they're saying. I mean, if you think about it, Epic owns Unreal, right? And now Epic has more money than God. So I guess they could do it.
That's true.
This shit, I think they do this part here to prove that they can load this stuff like instantaneously.
She goes from that room into this whole...
Yeah, and their Lumen technology was illuminating the whole world, not just those rooms, Supposedly.
I mean, obviously, to me, it just sounds impossible.
Yeah.
No hiccup.
Like, I just want to see it run live,
It's time to see what's next.
Just think about how long it takes to design something like that. Wow.
Well, I mean, when did Unreal 4 come out? Like 4
years ago?
2014? Unreal.
Let's see.
I'm Googling a lot. Unreal 4 release, mostly just release dates. Unreal 4, 2014, September 2014.
2014. Wow,
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah. It is weird to think about that, like, they've been using that since, what is that, like, the end of the PS3 era?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, like, I don't know if you saw any of the Xbox reveals that they did last week or the week before, but
No, I've been so away from console releases.
Man, it was underwhelming. They were like, this is going to be the first time we're going to show you next-gen stuff, and they basically showed, like, AA and, like, AAA games, and it was like, this is... It was like Masquerade, Bloodlines Masquerade, like that vampire game.
Yeah.
some like random horror games that nobody has ever heard of, and they only show
nothing new, really.
No, I mean, they did show new stuff, but they certainly didn't show any gameplay. And then they were really hyping up the Assassin's Creed Valhalla gameplay that they were going to show. It's like 3 seconds of gameplay, and the rest of it was just FMV. And everyone was like, "This is not a good."
That is shady.
And it just wasn't a good representation of what like next gen was. And then half a week later, Unreal comes out with this, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, imagine Breath of the Wild on Unreal 5. Like, I know that Switch wouldn't be able to do it, but like imagine Breath of the Wild on Unreal 5 or Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or whatever the hell they're going to call it.
Yeah, that has potential.
You need a PlayStation, man. I know that you're all about your Switch or your Nintendo boy now.
Yeah, because it's just convenient.
I know it's convenient.
Just lounge around.
But there's just like some top tier experiences that you can only really get on
also expensive. That's the problem.
$350 for investment. I think it's $350 for a Pro. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the games are going to be pretty expensive too.
$60.
Yeah.
Same as most Switch titles. I mean, I know you mostly just do indie on Switch, but
because just indie satisfies all my needs.
Yeah.
All
you need is indie games and a blow up doll, and you're good. That's it.
You know me too well, man.
But like what?
Just got my third blow up doll.
Just wearing them out. Like what do you want to see in this engine? Like what game series do you want to see in this engine?
I want to see an actual new Castlevania game done right.
Do you mean another 2D game, or do you want like another Lords of Shadow?
If they can stick to the 2D style of it, I would absolutely love that.
I mean, I'm sure they could make it look amazing, but I feel like this is overkill for that. Like, who's going to pay for the licensing for
exactly. It's going to be overkill.
Well, actually,
they never made a good 3D Castlevania. And Castlevania was one of my favorite series growing up. Like, I love Castlevania. Actually, all of them.
I just said something.
Except for the 3D one.
I think I just said something wrong. I don't think you like straight up pay for an Unreal license. I think it's like a profit sharing thing. I think it's because I think they just changed it too. It's like your first $1 million of revenue, you don't have to pay anything back to Epic. But after your first $1 million of revenue, I think it's like 9% or something you have to start giving them because you use their engine.
Actually, 1 million is such a small amount when you think about it.
For indie, not for indie devs though. For indie devs, it's
pretty... Oh, that's what you mean. Gotcha.
Well, no, for anybody, I think, but for indie devs, that's like
for indie devs. I don't think any indie dev has made $1 million. Like, I'm sure they have, but like very few indie devs have made close to or over $1 million, except for maybe Edmund,
the Stardew Valley guy.
Really?
Of course he did, dude. That guy sold so many copies of that game. It's insane.
I don't even understand what the appeal was.
I love that game. I had a lot of fun with that game.
What do you do in that game? It's like
you chill out, man.
But it's just so dumb.
You farm, you go and you make friends and have sex with the other villagers. No, you can befriend them and eventually you can marry one, I think. There's like an almost endless mine that you can go through and like fight monsters and get minerals down there so you can build stuff.
So is it like an isometric Sims?
No, it's more like an isometric Minecraft with better graphics that's more charming.
What was it say? It's like a clone of another game from back in the day.
Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the one I'm thinking about.
It's like Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon on steroids, right?
Yeah, totally. It's great. It's absolutely great.
I don't know. I just feel like grown-ups playing that game.
In this engine, I want Nintendo to go bankrupt and to sell all of their IPs to Sony. And then, I mean, this will never happen. And then I want, I want a Breath of the Wild or whatever the next one would be called in this engine, running on PlayStation
Zelda
hardware.
Because Zelda was always about that, especially like the new Zelda games after they came out of the isometric 2D ones.
Yeah,
it was all about atmosphere and environments.
Well, they always kind of like redefined visuals and stuff. And I mean, Ocarina, it invented lock-on targeting and that kind of thing. It's
true.
Really big deal.
Yeah,
back in the day.
But all the scenery they create, just like the mountains and jungles and plains and everything, and even what was it, Twilight of what?
Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess is a reactionary release because Ocarina came out and everybody loved it, and then on GameCube they released Wind Waker, and lots of fans were pissed about it because it had like a quote unquote cartoony, I mean it does, art style, but it's still,
well, that's how it was.
yeah, it's the best art style they've ever done in my opinion. Like it's the only art style that holds up of the 3D games at this point. And then they came out with Twilight Princess because it was they wanted like something totally opposite, dark and brooding, and as realistic as they could make it look for the graphics of the day. Still pretty good game. It's got really cool like one-off items. You've played it, right?
Yeah. I played a couple of them actually.
You know, like the gear skateboard thing that's never come back ever again. It's like a spinning top gear that you can like ride.
You jump on, yeah.
Yeah, and it would like connect to like zippers in the walls and take you all over the dungeons and stuff. That was a lot of fun.
See, that's another cool thing about Zelda games. Just like they always have like some cool little mechanic that they try to just come out with.
That's the whole thing, right? Every single time.
Yeah, and just like they inspire so many games too. I mean, we owe so much of the games that we play to the Zelda formula, basically.
No, it's
dungeon crawling, a lot of like puzzle solving, like clever puzzles, time-based puzzles.
It's probably my second favorite game series, I would say.
As simple as some of them are, they still feel like such grand adventures.
Yeah,
like they've done such a good job just drawing you in.
This is
another game franchise I would like to see come back on an engine like this is Prince of Persia, because I feel like back in the day, Prince of Persia games also emphasized a lot and developed a lot of really cool and majestic looking environment. Going through just palaces and.
Why is it gone?
I don't know. I think
which one did really bad? Yeah, which one was that? I remember two of them. I remember like, is it called Sands of Time? Is that the first
Sands
release?
Sands of Time was so good when you were getting chased by that Dahaka monster.
Yes, that game is great. Wait, no, isn't that the second one? Isn't it like Dark something or other? Prince of Persia. Isn't Prince of Persia Sands of Time the first re-release or not? Sands of Time. Sands of Time, third person.
Sands of Time series.
Sands of Time is the first one of the new ones. So what was the sequel called? It was The Forgotten Sands? No, the Sands of Time trilogy. Prince of Persia. Sands of Time. Okay, so it's Prince of Persia, then Sands of Time. Oh, you're right.
So
you're right. The
Dahaka
is Sands of Time.
Even Warrior Within. You remember that one?
That's the one I'm thinking of. Is that the one that crashed and burned?
No, that was a good one in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the reviews for it right now on Wiki. I got Game Informer gave it 9.25 out of 10. GameSpot gave it 8.8 out of 10. IGN gave it 8.6 out of 10.
I just realized you're Persian. That's what this is all about.
You're
just looking for cultural representation. That's what this is. You know, I can't really talk because, like, I'm Italian, so Mario will be there until I'm dead. So I understand. Like, you need your thing, right?
I'm just
kidding.
Prince of Persia, I feel like it was really cool. Like, it came out after Tomb Raider, so it wasn't original in those puzzles where you're like holding onto ledges.
No, like the original Prince of Persia is like ancient, you know, like
the one that was in like MS DOS.
Yeah.
That
it's fine.
You can't really say that it was really anything special. Like, I actually played it, but since I didn't own any of the books and I didn't have access to internet, I never made it past a single level. Like, I would just complete a level and die because I was always drink the wrong potion at the end of the stage, you know, because it's always like, what's the fourth letter of the 12th word on the second paragraph?
I gotta tell you,
76.
I probably played like 5 screens of that game.
So and you just die.
Yeah, I can't really say anything.
Never beat it.
No, definitely.
But even Warrior Within, they had it on PSP, and I remember I was working at GameStop when that came out, and it was one of the most beautiful looking games on the PSP that actually blew my mind. I couldn't believe that they could actually execute those graphics on a handheld device console like that. It was incredible, and they had the metal music in it. I forgot what the track was called. But every time you were getting chased by the Hawk monster, it was just so well done in my opinion. But then it kind of went downhill.
That was when I rented. I know I definitely didn't own that one.
Forgotten Sands, I think.
I remember that one. That's they all have the rewind mechanic, right? Like that's the first.
Yes.
Yeah, the rewind mechanic.
Forgotten Sands was still good because they kept working on the combat system and they made it better and better. But I think what happened was that around that time, Assassin's Creed came into the picture, and they stole everything from Prince of Persia and Tomb Raider. Just the beautiful environments, really good combat, and they had like the stealth mechanics or whatever you want to call them. And then they just mastered it. They just made it so much better. And I think after that, Prince of Persia became obsolete because I think just Assassin's Creed took over. Basically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So what I'm thinking, right? So how about this? Hear me out. You do a new Prince of Persia, right? And you, instead of giving it the open world Assassin's Creed, Breath of the Wild, whatever treatment, you give it the Naughty Dog treatment, right? And you set it like in current day, and your character is like a descendant of the Prince of Persia from those games, and he's trying to like uncover his family's lineage, and he comes across, is it an hourglass that like gives you that? That he comes across like the hourglass. He's like a Nathan Drake knockoff. Like, don't have Naughty Dog do it. You know, this is like a knockoff.
Nathan Drake / Max Payne.
Yeah, exactly. Nathan Drake / Max Payne. So it's like a ripoff of The Mummy, basically, but it's a Persian story. And he's like going through these forgotten ruins, trying to find like the history of his family, and he comes across like the sands of time, and at the same time that he does it, he awakens the Dahaka, and he doesn't realize it, and he like brings it back to modern day civilization with him, and you have to do like parkour Prince of Persia through like the streets of Tehran or something like that.
I thought you were gonna say like skyscrapers in New York.
No, because you still want to keep some of like the cultural significance. You know, you still want some of it. If he's just in New York, you know, it's like, whatever.
I mean, if anything remains after COVID, honestly.
All right, how about Miami then? So there's still sand involved. Are you actually laughing?
There are two deserts over there, Ron.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There are two deserts. It's just like, obviously, completely, there's no development in them. Like, you could actually probably run into something that nobody has seen before because they get so hot. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure every inch of them have been explorers, but you could create like a fantasy where you go underground, under the sands, and you find some forgotten ruins that were just covered by
it could be like
kilometers of sands and dunes.
It could be like the Lost City of Atlantis, but instead of being underwater, it's just under sand. It's just under sand. There's an underground cavern. Have you ever watched like Neon Genesis Evangelion?
No.
You've never seen? Well, Evangelion, it's a super famous anime. And there's like a world underneath the world in it. There's just like a crater where they just build a city in it, but you can't see it from above. We'll do that, except it's under the sand. It's a whole Prince of Persia Sand City.
And there's a giant like supernova explosion where all the sand in the desert turns into glass.
Okay, that could be like one zone. That could be like one zone. You fight like a boss that like explodes.
I was gonna say that's how you defeat the final boss, the Dahaka. You freeze it by it's crawling through sand and it just turns into glass and just shatters.
You just smash his bitch ass.
Shatters into bits.
Okay. All right.
But to return somehow, obviously.
And all of it will be amazing in Unreal Engine 5, where every single one of those it's all its own particles. There, every single grain of sand is 10,000 triangles, and you'll have the perfect lumen, their light plug-in bouncing off of every single grain.
30 billion grains of sand individually textured.
Yeah, individually textured.
Everyone has 12 sides and 30 triangles used in
it's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be great
to illuminate them. Oh my god,
it's gonna be great.
No, actually, imagine that if this engine has that capability. Imagine how they can create scenes where there's like wind blowing dust around or sand around.
You're actually like transitioning into the next thing I want to talk about.
Oh, go ahead.
So this is the last thing I had. I know that you're not playing console games, but I'm still going to hit you with some of this. I mean, besides Switch. Ghost of Tsushima, do you know what that is?
I don't.
Do you know who Sucker Punch is? They're the guys who made Infamous and Infamous 2 on PlayStation. Yes. So this is their new open world game.
Okay.
And it's like a mashup of everything. It's like Assassin's Creed, it's like Breath of the Wild. It's got a combat system kind of like Sekiro and also a combat system like Assassin's Creed. But the thing that I found cool about this is the way that they're tackling traversing a open world where they are bringing in elements of the world to direct you to the things that you want to go to. So that's kind of weird the way I'm saying it, but I just kind of want you to watch the beginning of this Ghost of Tsushima. If I can remember how to spell it, TSUS Shima State of Play. And I'll turn up the volume on this. So they show you a lot here. Let me change scenes so the other humans can see it. Okay, I think they've already talked about it.
Yeah, already kind of resembles Sekiro.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
Check this out.
Well, that's Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah, just calling the horse like that and.
Yeah. What was the horse's name?
It's like. Hold on. Yeah, I can't remember.
It's like 3 letters.
It's like Ikaro or something like that.
Yeah.
I always forget. All right, so check this out. They haven't shown it yet. Well, they did show it, but I skipped it. He's put a marker on the map, but if you notice, there's no like UI showing him where to go.
Right.
So when he thinks he needs to figure out where to go, he uses one of his, I don't know, magical samurai powers here. I think he uses it right here.
Like tracking skills?
So he just called the gust of wind. So they see how the wind is blowing in that direction now? Yeah. So now he flies off in that direction instead of it just being like a blinking bit of bullshit on the screen.
Very interesting. And it seems like there's crafting in it?
It looks like it, yeah.
Weapons upgrades?
He's definitely... That's very Assassin's Creed right there, where like somebody is finding him there. So yeah, instead of just like big obvious UI elements, it's a little bit more stripped down and more of a cinematic kind of experience. Actually, I want you to see that stuff too. That stuff is really cool.
The soundtrack is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that thought instead.
Yeah.
Mongol territory.
Oh, so this is a period in Japan where I guess the Mongols invaded, and he's
all kinds of locations
fighting them back.
Like this farmstead that's been taken over by the Mongols. It can also take you to your next big story moments, or even help you find rare collectibles.
Also elements of
but what about the
Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls was also
a
pretty big pioneer
in the open world realm.
Yeah.
Smokestacks on the horizons, interesting and odd-shaped trees, or maybe even animals trying to get your attention.
This is pretty cool. This guy is a Disney princess, and you'll see why in a second.
I also wish in games collision was more realistic, so if you ran into one of these trees, it would actually just
break your neck.
Fall and break your neck.
That's how it is in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Take real damage. Really?
Yeah.
I still have to play that game.
Look at this shit. It's like, oh, this bird is trying to tell me something. And they'll just randomly take you to events.
Stay away, my lord. The spirits of vengeful samurai haunt this forest.
So they show you some combat stuff, and but I want to skip that. I want to just show you one more thing. I mean, you can watch this on your own time, brother.
Seems like there's a lot of different like armor sets and weapon sets.
Yeah, because he can fight as like an honorable samurai, or he can kind of have like a ninja set and go in and like assassinate everyone at night.
Yeah.
But where's this one thing?
Not only do you get to choose how the ghost.
So this is cool that right away. This isn't exactly what I want to talk about, but it is very neat that they chose to add this.
In our new photo mode, we have features such as color grading, depth of field.
Because like, we don't care, I don't think that much, but like gamers care about this stuff now.
Absolutely.
Look how dope this is, though.
You can control the wind's direction, the speed. You can change out the particles to different types of leaves and fireflies.
Yep.
You can even select a track of music from our original score that might be a little bit more fitting. So if you're into doing a photo, or maybe you actually want to do a video, there's something here for you. Here's a few that I've created.
I'm a professional photographer. I take in video game photos.
This next thing they talk about is what I'm interested in and considering playing the game like. Oh no, not the Japanese voice track. Although I will be doing the Japanese voice track, no doubt. But
turn on.
Yeah, this. Have you ever watched any Akira Kurosawa movies?
Like what?
Like The Hidden Fortress or Seven Samurai. They're older movies, like between the
can't say I have.
The 40s
I've
and
heard
on,
Seven
or
Samurai.
50s and on. You've heard of Seven Samurai? So he's like this super famous samurai director. Like he's basically the original Star Wars is basically a 100% ripoff of The Hidden Fortress.
Interesting.
But like it's got like this very gritty film style with like gorgeous film grain and all that kind of stuff. Like it's very, you know it when you see it, and they decided to put it in this game, and I kind of want to play it. I kind of want to play the game like this.
It's like black and white.
Yeah.
Here at Sucker Punch, we are huge fans of samurai cinema. We wanted to create a way for you to feel like you're playing your favorite samurai movie. So we created a windy, black and white, film grained out mode that you can turn on from the very
windy.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. I've seen samurai stuff a lot growing up because a lot of the shows and films that they would put on TV were imported or bought from Japan and China. I think it's mostly because they were more conservative. There wasn't a lot of nudity or sexual content.
Yeah.
In those.
This soundtrack though, like
very, very epic.
I love this shot. I'm very excited for this. This will be the game I'll be playing after Last of Us Part 2. As most.
And you said this is an exclusive?
Yeah, that's an exclusive.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's the thing about PlayStation. They have some bangers, man. The Last of Us.
This is incredible.
Amazing Marvel Spider-Man. Horizon Zero Dawn is amazing. God of War is amazing. They're really good. They're really, and fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake is so good. That game was incredible.
Just this alone.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to have one.
Do you think that's like a neat idea though, to like pick a specific like film genre and basically make what would you say, a filter for your whole game for it? That's kind of wild to go to that length to just like honor something that most of the gamers that will play this have never even played. Like those movies, they're from the 50s, and like the
yeah, exactly. People, I think we're like the last generation to remember films like that. Actually,
I mean, unless you're a serious cinephile, like
yeah, exactly.
Like
if you're like a music or a movie degree or film degree or something like that.
I know some people that work at like indie theaters, and like they're all about it, but that's like less than 1% of people I know, obviously.
But specifically black and white, like old school samurai films like this,
with film grain and scratches and stuff in it.
I think it will appeal to people, not for the same reasons that it will appeal to you and I. I think it's mostly going to be like cool to them.
Yeah.
And something different and actually new to them. So it could be like a reintroduction.
So they won't have an attachment to the nostalgia. They'll just have like an appreciation for the aesthetic.
Yeah. Oh, this looks cool. But at the same time, they might feel like it's taken away from the graphics of the game.
I could see lots of people, and most people won't even watch a black and. My favorite movie of last year was a black and white movie, but like I don't think most people even dig.
Which one? Don't tell me The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse, yeah, The Lighthouse. God damn, that's a good movie.
Is it?
Oh my god, it's so good. It's by the guy who made The Witch.
But why did you like it?
Because it's Did you see it?
I did.
You didn't like it? You didn't like it at all?
Okay, so here, my biggest problem was when the theater I went to.
You didn't like all the masturbating, did you?
No, it wasn't a bad theater, but like you couldn't understand what they were saying. First of all,
yeah, that is a little tough.
It was so bass, and it was the voices were drowned out.
Yeah.
And I went with my family. And
that's a bad move.
But I mean, it didn't affect my opinion. But
Okay.
but as far as like how they thought, what they thought about it, they obviously don't know anything about like eldritch stuff, or they don't have any interest in like that sort of stuff. So
Well,
to them, it was absolutely dumb.
There's some eldritch stuff in there. There's some Greek, there's Greek mythology stuff.
Poseidon-y stuff.
Well, no, there's Prometheus, the guy who like stole fire, the Titan that stole fire and gave it to humans, and then his he has to get his liver pecked out every single day by like a hawk or something. That's his eternal hell,
right.
And that's what happens to, well, spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Spoiler warning at the beginning of this podcast for The Lighthouse. For me and the other 12 people that saw that movie.
I don't know if I would recommend it though.
I recommend it wholeheartedly. Bring your grandma.
There are definitely very cool cinematography in it. There's a lot of...
The acting is spectacular, I think.
The acting is really good.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson, you would never think that he's such a good actor.
So good.
Like, he has grown.
Yeah.
And William Dafoe, I mean, he's playing an insane man in the way that he looked and the way that he talked. And those the scenes were so long, like those cuts, they weren't just like edited sequences. There were scenes where they were like talking and acting for 5 minutes, 10 minutes straight.
Admit it, you're fond of me, lobster.
Just so creepy.
All right, enough of that. Anyway, do you think they could apply something like this to anything else? Like maybe if they did like a GTA in the 70s, they gave it like that Taxi Driver look to it with that film grain, like those washed out colors and stuff like that.
I feel like there's room for that, especially since there were a couple of titles like LA Noire that tried that a little bit.
I forgot about
you
that.
Know, but they were still kind of like gangster kind of mafia sort of stuff. So that's always been there, kind of like Godfather vibe. And
there is a Godfather game, right? I don't think it did much.
They weren't that good.
No,
they were kind of like GTA.
Yeah,
not as good.
That's what happens to all gangster games. It's like, except for I guess Yakuza. Everyone says Yakuza is amazing, but I've never played it.
Yeah, Yakuza got better and better.
Yeah,
actually, because it started as like a beat 'em up sort of game, and then it eventually had more story to it, had more, I guess, like power ups and weapons and things like that. Yeah. But I feel like with old school ideas, concepts like samurai, maybe it'll be a little more difficult. Because I don't know, like not that like this looks bad, but I just don't think a lot of people, as far as like nostalgia or anything like that, remember these things. I don't think they like. To me, this reminds me of my childhood and the movies that I used to see back then.
See, this reminds me of college because I tore through these movies in college. Just because my Mike T, I'm sure you know of that, my old psychotic roommate. I mean, he's my best friend, Mike T.
Yeah.
He was a fan of Kurosawa movies, so we went through some of those back then.
And then he had like, well, I mean, even now, a lot of people watch Bruce Lee films.
Yeah.
So maybe you were wrong. Maybe there's a lot more appreciation of it.
Why isn't that explored in games more, like the 70s Kung Fu era? I feel like you get some good shit out of that.
I don't think there's been a video game with nunchucks like that. Just straight up Kung Fu in it like that.
All right. As far as topics, that's all I really had for this week. So what you playing?
Right now, I'm still kind of playing One Step from Eden, but I'm basically done with it. My problem with it is that there's so many cards in it that I just don't see the value. I don't think that I'm ever gonna make decks out of those cards.
All right, let's see something here. Can you look up your hours played for me, please?
On my Switch?
On One Step from Eden, yeah.
Oh, sure. Give me a second.
I'd like to know. I'd like to know what value you got out of One Step from Eden, because this guy, he beats the shit out of these games.
Let me see.
Or plays the shit out of these games.
I did pick up a couple of other titles that I was playing. I don't know if you've ever heard of Fallen Legion.
No. No, I don't think so.
There's another game called Thea, The Awakening.
That sounds familiar. I think I've heard of that, but you might have just told me it.
I don't think I told you about Thea, though. I tried to finish The Messenger because I almost beat it, but
when I hit 16-bit, I stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I like 16-bit games better than 8-bit games, which is the weird part. I don't know why I stopped. But their game that they have coming out in like 2022 looks amazing. Anyway, answer my question. Please.
Okay, playtime. You want to see numbers or you want to see...
Like hours.
You said One Step from Eden?
Yeah. Does this have hours?
I have to load it up.
No. You go into your profile, right? You can go into your Switch profile.
Show it, right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't even think we're friends on Switch.
We're not.
I only play Animal Crossing on there right now, anyway.
We stopped playing it. So it only... Yeah, it just says 70 hours or more, but I do know that I'm over 250 hours.
How's that? How can you be over 200 if it says 70 or more? Because it stops at 70 or more?
I think so.
Do you recall how much you paid for it?
For One Step from Eden?
Yeah.
I think it was like $20. Or 15.
Okay.
God, that's a difficult question.
So what is that per hour?
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out how much value you got out of that one little indie game. That's not even done, by the way.
10 cents an hour.
What do I do? Is it 2? Oh, so it would be let's say it was 20
like a
20 divided by 200?
Yeah.
A 10 cents an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost like going to a penny arcade and just having runs.
That's when people when they bitch about the cost of a game, I'm like, yo, you ever been to the movies before, idiot? Like,
yeah, you pay $15 sometimes, $12 sometimes.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half experience.
And a lot of the times you don't even like that movie. Or
you either don't like it, plus you don't even get to keep it. They don't give you a copy of it.
No, or you get some kid next to you coughing or screaming or snoring or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
you know?
Imagine if you had $15 for playing a video game for just 2 hours, and then you're like, all right, go home then, buddy.
Yeah.
That's it. Back in the day, that was kind of like that.
10 cents an hour for what you would say is like more than a positive experience, right?
There was this one place down the street from my house when I was a kid, and you could go there, and the guy was just like an electronics shop. He would like repair electronics, but he had a PlayStation there.
Yeah.
And you could pay to play, and that was actually my experience. I would go there and pay like $10 to play games for like 2 hours.
There was kind of like there was a place around here that was called Strike One. It was in Burlington, Mass, and it was like an athletic center, but there was also a large arcade in there, and you paid $10 a day to go into this giant arcade with maybe like, not giant, let's say 35 different arcade machines, all on free play.
That's awesome.
It was spectacular. My old man used to just be like, here, I'm dropping you off here for the day. I'll see you later. And he'd come back and pick me up like 6 hours later. I'm like, not yet. It's not time to go yet.
I know. It just flies. I used to do it all the time. Does this still exist?
No, it's long gone. That's how I beat like Ninja Turtles arcade, Turtles in Time, the Simpsons game, because I could just drive, it's like how it is now where you just download that stuff on PlayStation or Xbox or Switch or whatever, and you just have free play. But I had it with the actual arcade machines. It was great. Back in like, this would have been like 97, 98, something like that.
Oh man, we had the same experience at the same time.
Yeah.
Like exactly when I was like, exactly that, like 8 to 15 years old.
What are you a year younger than me? I'm 34. I'll be 35 in August.
I'm going to be 34 in December.
Okay,
a year and a half-ish.
Year and a half, okay.
Around the same exact time, there was this, I think this place still exists actually in Tehran. There was a massive arcade, and they had everything, man. They had PlayStations in it. They had, like, classic arcade cabinets in it. They had even, like, I don't know if you remember those tank games that you would actually sit in the tank, and you would control your tank. Oh, man. My favorite game when I used to go there was crap. What was like that game that you turn into animals? It was a fighting game.
Oh, Beast.
It has Beast in it. Bloody Roar?
Yes, Bloody Roar. That's it. Bloody Roar. You're right. Bloody Roar. That's it.
my god!
I remember playing those games on PlayStation, the home versions.
Was the coolest shit.
Yeah.
Like there was no other fighting game like that at the time. Like there was Tekken, and it was cool.
Yeah, the transformations though were like a whole new level.
The transformations and like if you figured out the combos, just because he had 2 sets of abilities and 2 sets of combos and all of that, and just that transformation, and then they had those ultimate moves that were really flashy, and then they had like slow-mo finishers and all that. Oh my god.
I always got trounced in fighting games as a kid, so I never played them in arcades, but I understand because I played them at home a lot versus just the computer.
See, I never played like Street Fighter back then.
I did.
Or any of that, but like Tekken was my go-to. Bloody Orb was another one of my go-tos. But then later on, when I moved over here, I got into Street Fighter 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I got pretty good with Akuma. Oh boy.
That's how you say Akuma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say it correctly.
Probably. But Aku means evil, right? I think in Japanese.
Or demon?
Aku, yeah, it's like evil or demon, yeah, something like that.
But yeah, you know, like you have that combo where you basically press all the freaking buttons on the controller, and he does a grab, and the screen goes black, and it's just like a million hit combo.
Raging Demon, I think it's called. Something like that. Raging Demon.
You should pull that up.
Everybody knows what that is if anyone's watching this. Anyway, anything else you're playing? Or can I go
to... Another game that I would recommend...
Mess up the screen for a second.
Is Ita. Have you seen Ita?
You've told me about it.
I don't think I told you about it.
You did, because I've never heard of it until... I mean, like... I know I haven't heard of it. Is it ITTA? ITTA?
ITTA.
ITTA.
You should play a trailer of it. And I don't know. I think this is.
Oh, I don't know. I'm getting like some kind of weird waifu game. Oh wait, here we go. No, here we go. I got to switch announcement.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here. I'm gonna turn down the volume a bit here.
I don't know if this is like a Switch exclusive, but
they did get the announcement. It looks like
it's a very slick, very fast-paced, really smooth.
They killed the cat.
Responsive. I know, right?
The internet will be so mad.
He will forever be with you, though.
Okay. Oh yeah. I know this game.
And it's a.
Oh, you know what? I saw a YouTuber named Retromation play this. That's where I've heard of this.
So imagine like the boss rush style of Fury, with bullet hell style sort of fights.
What it looked like to me was that Titan game. Titan.
Titanfall.
I
remember you playing it.
I played it on my channel. Yeah. Titan Souls.
Yeah. Titan Souls.
That game was fun. But it wasn't robust enough. I like that graphical thing there with like the character bouncing up to the screen, the enemy character bouncing up to the screen.
Yeah. There are things that like pop in and out. Yeah.
It's very. I mean, the art style is very much up my alley.
It's great. It's pretty good.
Okay. And for me, I have. I told you a couple weeks ago. I was playing Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah.
I had to stop.
You said you hated it.
I just ended up. I mean, at first I didn't, but then I was like, wow, this is like coming off of Final Fantasy 7 remake and then playing that. I just wanted more cactuars and like Moogles and shit like that in my life. And I was like, nah. Yeah. I was like, nah, I just can't do it. The voice acting is so bad. The story is so shitty. Like the battle system is kind of cool. Do you know about the battle system in that game?
No, tell me.
It's basically like low-level programming. So they have this thing called the Gambit system, which are like these if-then statements. Like, if any one of my allies is below this amount of health, use Cure Spell on them.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And you can, like, unlock a shitload of them. So you can have this whole, like, hierarchy of things that you do. Like,
so it's like automated combat?
So you can do that even for your player character, not just for everybody else. So you kind of like build this machine to figure out how to best go through it. And that part is mostly fun, but like the characters are such boring, like weirdo anime robots that I just... And they're also a blatant ripoff of Star Wars. Second time I've said this, but it is. Like it's Star Wars, but worse. And I just got so... You know who Chewbacca is, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
Dara's never seen a Star Wars movie. That's why I'm saying that. I know it's most people that see.
They're everywhere. It's impossible to not know.
So like, there's
for the plot, for that sake.
There's a Han and Chewie equivalent in this game called Balthier and Fran. And Fran, I guess, is known across the internet as Sexy Chewbacca because she's just like a bunny girl in a thong with high heels on.
I get to see that.
Yeah, you got look her up. Fran from Final Fantasy XII. I'll pull her up, I guess.
Jesus. Over sexualized.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Oh my god, somebody cosplaying her? No. Oh god. What have I clicked on? I'm out of here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not showing this to anybody.
Really creepy.
It's not on screen. It's not on screen. Don't worry. It's just us on screen right now. And just Google Fran XII. She's Sexy Chewbacca, but she's way more like she speaks English and she's less interesting than Chewbacca, who just goes, oh, I can't make the sound. But anyway, yeah. I had to stop. And then when oh jeez, like, stop messaging me.
Like furry fantasy.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then when I stopped, I was like, I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey for $20 like over Christmas break. I think I'll play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Dude, it's awesome. It is so...
Is that the latest one?
Yes, it would have came out in I think it would have been early 2019.
What's the setting in that?
Greek. It's all of the Greek world during the Adriatic War, the Peloponnesian War, when the Greeks and the when the Athenians and the Spartans went to war.
Oh, so they didn't continue going into the future because it was kind of becoming more and more recent, sort of.
Not this one. They went back far, but it's not as far back I think as the one before it, which was ancient Egypt, which is Origins. I've never played that one. Or are they contemporary? I don't even know.
Yeah. That has good reviews too.
Odyssey is spectacular. The world is like this amazing wash of sunlight and blues and greens and all like your main character. I picked Cassandra. You can pick between Alexios or Cassandra. It's the first time I think you've been able to do that in an Assassin's Creed game. And I had read that Cassandra's voice actor was exceptional. In fact, I think she got nominated at the Game Awards that year.
Oh, wow.
And she is exceptional. Like, going through that game with that character is awesome. And what I love about Cassandra is that she's a big fucking girl. Like, she's not like some...
Oh, really?
She's not chubby. She's jacked. She's not like some little... You know, like she's never...
She's like Zarya from Overwatch?
Yes! She's like Zarya, but like more attractive, I would say. You know, like she could fucking crush my skull with one hand, you know? And her voice actor...
between her thighs.
Yeah, probably. That is one cool thing about the game. You can just like fuck anyone you want, more or less. There's so many quest lines that end with like a heart option where you can choose to just like fuck that person, more or less. And I fuck everyone in the Greek world. I fuck all the women. I fuck all like the men.
Assassin's Creed meets Witcher?
Yeah. There's tons of that. And I don't turn any dick or pussy down. I get it all. And that opens...
Oh, even the dicks?
Oh, yeah, I get it all. I'm a female character.
No, if I'm ever playing a female character and I have romantic options, it's always lesbian.
No. That's not how the Greeks rolled, though. I'm really role-playing it. They did whatever. The Greeks were all about that shit. Anyway, the world is amazing. All of the side characters, while not as well animated as your main character, still look pretty good. And some of like the big names in histories, like Socrates, they say Socrates, and like what's his name, Hippocrates, like the Hippocratic Oath guy. You know, all of those like main pillars of Greek history that we know about today. They're awesome. They're all voiced so well. Their storylines are super cool. The combat system is a lot of fun. Let me see how far into it I am.
What is your main mission in that? Like, what are you trying to achieve?
I am 60 hours in. So your main character is she's born a Spartan and she's being trained up by her father to be a warrior. But then Pythia, the Oracle, says that her little brother Alexios has to be killed in order for like ruin to not befall Sparta. And like they're gonna throw the baby off of this cliff into the fucking ocean, and like your character as a little girl goes and tries to save the brother, but both of you end up toppling off into the ocean. And she gets adopted by a guy who basically turns her into a mercenary. And then the story starts to unfold where she tries to find her family. So it's like this very intimate story set in a very big, broad historical period where she's like influencing the Peloponnesian War. I think that's the war.
Okay.
And there's some interesting mechanics in there where there's a city-state like flipping thing you can do. Like either a city-state is controlled by Athens or it's controlled by Sparta. And it doesn't matter which one. You can fuck with whatever faction you want to. So like you go into those. I know this is a super old game. People know about this stuff, but I'm like gushing on it. You can go into these areas and you can kill off their soldiers and burn their supplies and murder their leaders. And then the more of that you do, the weaker the state becomes. And when it becomes weak enough, a conquest battle will pop up between Athens and Sparta. And you can choose to fight for one faction or the other. If you fight for the attacking faction, it's more difficult, but you get more rewards. And when you do that, it kicks off this huge scale battle where it's like this land skirmish where you're like a hero in the midst of it while everyone's fighting around you, and you're taking out soldiers and captains and mercenaries. And the more you kill, the better you do for Spartan or Athens, the more shit that they give you. And when
that's kind of like what was the Warrior series,
like
right?
Dynasty Warriors?
Dynasty Warriors.
It's like Dynasty Warriors, except you're not like a god. You know how like in those games you can just like swing like a giant naginata and like murder like
nothing matters.
No, it's not like that.
You to die to you.
Yeah, you still have to think a little bit. So the funniest thing about this is that once you say you flipped it from Sparta to Athens, as soon as you're done with that battle, you can just go like, all right, I'm going to go kill all the Athenians now in this area. And then you can just do the battle again and, like, flip it again. You can just constantly, like, flip the world.
So it's not like, like an evil option and a good option.
No, because you don't care. You're a mercenary. You hate Sparta because they ruined your life as a child. And you hate Athens because you were brought up to hate Athens from the Spartans. So you're just like a mercenary. You do everything for yourself. The only thing you care about, the only thing you care about is finding your family and trying to fix your own personal life, and everything else is just there, and you can just play in that sandbox. And then there's
none of that like affects like the ending or anything like that.
No.
It's just purely for your satisfaction.
Yeah, sandbox stuff. And then there's naval battles.
I hate naval battles.
They are really good in this game because there's no cannons or anything. You're just using arrows and spears. So you just like aim all your boys with this big like reticle, and you're like, fuck them up, and they do, and you can ram each other. And then there's like legendary hunts for like lions and bears and all kinds of wild shit like that.
Ooh.
There's even like gear set bonuses a la like Diablo. Like I have the full Artemis set because I hunted every single legendary monster. So like my hunting there's 3 tiers of battle points too. There's a warrior tier, an assassination tier, and a hunter tier for stealth kills, face-to-face melee battles, and for archery. So like you can really
spliced a lot of different mechanics and different like game ideas together. Even like that sounds like Monster Hunter to me.
And it totally works. Like you get some open world jank now and then, but like that's how it is. But I love it. Yeah. I can't, especially after coming out off of Final Fantasy 12. Like I feel like this is more of an RPG than that JRPG. I mean, I know that Final Fantasy 12 is from PS2. It's like beating the shit out of a toddler saying this, but
right. But still, yeah.
And
it's scratching that itch for you right now, at least.
And that's what I've been playing.
That sounds like an incredible game.
Yeah, it's really good. They brought some of the Assassin's Creed games to Switch. Maybe they'll bring Odyssey one day. It'll look like shit, but they might.
Really?
Yeah, they brought Assassin's Creed 2 and 3 to the Switch, and 4. If you're gonna play one, play 4. Black Flag. That's one of the better ones.
Hold on, not that I don't believe you, but I have to see it from my own eyes.
I swear. Well, I'm gonna end the recording.
Research later.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Nick. This is Dara. I'm from He's Bad Games. He's from Ink Eyes. This has been.
Thank you for having me, Nick.
What are you talking about? You're the permanent co-host, in my opinion. If you want, you're not even the co-host. We're co-hosts. That's how I see this.
Are we gonna bring other people into this?
I mean, maybe if somebody else wants to come in, but I wanted to do it with you. I don't know who else I would do it with.
That would be super cool. Maybe we can even, I don't know, one day do dev interviews. Imagine that. Little indie game dev interviews.
I think you have more pull there than I do now. I don't have any pull there anymore. No, nothing.
Neither of us. Let's just say that.
Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll be back next week. I plan to post these every Wednesday?
Okay.
Wednesday. Record on Sunday, post on Wednesday. All right.
Sure.
Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.